Hello, welcome to the stream. Just this is my first time streaming on here, so I'm just trying to set everything up. Just bear with me a second. There we are. All right, so we're gonna get in some chart markup here. Going into AM session. Got 17 minutes here until market open, so get rid of some of these drawings. Okay, so the past couple of days have been pretty bad in terms of price action. We've had an expansion pre-market pretty much every day, really. So that's happened again today, but hopefully being Friday and the past couple of days being bad, we might be all good here. So okay, so we have some buy side here with the daily FVG here above. So this has been my draw pretty much all week. Obviously we've not hit it, so maybe we'll get some sort of expansion move today. We'll see. Okay. So down to the 4 hour here. Looks like we're reacting off this previous high here from inside this gap. I'll mark out the unfilled portion, since that's clearly what we're rejecting off. It's H4 FVG. Move that across a bit, along with these as well. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. This is my first TikTok stream, so you'll have to bear with me. So we do have a H4 FVG here, so come 10 AM, we'll see if this holds or not. If we get a closure through this, we'll most likely be heading lower for the day. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So we do have some stacked lows here. This could either be sort of an engineered low resistance liquidity run, or we could actually just be rejecting to go higher. Either of which will just act accordingly. But yeah, just going off the H4 and the daily, I am bullish. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so on the hourly, it looks like we did inverse the hourly. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. We do have, yeah, like I say, it's these stacked lows, so I'll mark them out. Afternoon, Akram. It's good to see you in here again. Do we have SMT at the highs? So I just got ES open here as well, so just bear with me a second. We do have SMT at the highs at the minute, but we may get some sort of successor where ES will trail behind. So we can't really count on it, to be honest. But we'll see. Okay. See, it's annoying because the past couple of days you can see right here that we've been selling off. Hang on, wait, let me just make sure I'm in the, yeah, I'm in the view. Yeah, the past couple of days we've been selling off pre-market, which has led to consolidation, New York AM, which is kind of annoying, really, because it's meant that we haven't been able to get a good setup pretty much for the entirety of AM session. But we did just sweep this low. and tapped into this M15 here. So, and there is a, looks like we've got engineered low resistance liquidity run here. I'll mark that up in the lower time frame in a second here. Let's just quickly go on to the 5 minute and mark out our retracement levels. See if we've already hit EQ. Okay, so we already have EQ that we've already retraced into the 50%. So price is either going to consolidate in here like it has the past couple of days, or it's going to, you know, blast through this or blast lower, I guess. Reject here maybe, but given the past couple of days, I can't really be confident in that, to be honest. Do you have any SMT? Any SMT? Not that I can see. No SMT at the lows. So technically NQ is going to be the stronger pair if we were to go long, just because NQ has taken this high, ES hasn't, so it means that ES is slightly weaker than NQ, but NQ hasn't been treating us so good these past couple of days. It's been kind of rough, so we'll just wait, I guess. So we have a 15-minute above. And then also we have, it's 15-minute here. Technically, I'd combine these, but it's just too big and clunky. And considering we've already tapped this, I could just sort of remember that it's there, I guess. Okay. We've got 10 minutes until market open here, so yeah, I guess we just wait until then. There's not really much that I can do pre-market. Like I say, we have this M15 here. If we do decide to just blast through it, I can draw out a fib from this range, and we can see if we maybe get a pullback, a potential long, I guess. Yeah, there's not really too much here. And I'll mark out the M5 just because it's obviously there. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, MCAM, I managed to unlock live on TikTok somehow. I don't know why, but I don't know, they gave me early access, so I'll take it, I guess. Yes, yeah, absolutely. You have to be very careful today. We've expanded pre-market, like we have done the past couple of days, and obviously the past couple of days price action's been complete, butt cheeks, really, going into New York AM. So going to be extra careful today. If it's not top tier, if it's not like crystal clear A+ setup, then it'll be a low risk on the eval, so not on the funded. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Maybe we get something. Maybe we get something. This is just a waiting game now, though. So what I am thinking is that maybe we have some sort of three drives here. A rejection, another rejection. You're on eval. Okay, cool. Like I say, don't copy my trades. Make sure they're your own, really. I will call out whether I'm taking on eval or funded, though. So do with that information what you will, I guess. Which eval did you decide to go with? What firm? So sorry, I don't mean to cough into the mic. Did you go with like Apex, funded futures, anything like that? Oh, Alpha Capital. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I've never taken an eval out with I've always stuck to Apex or my funded futures. I guess that's just preference. And when I first started trading on evals, I used to like, for some reason, I didn't like look at the competition. I just sort of just found one and went for it, and then I ended up paying like $600 for an eval account like a year and a half ago. It's ridiculous. And then I found out Apex did them for like $38, and yeah, I was kind of mad. Say that I was like still maybe 18 months ago, you know, still learning, I guess. I blew the account pretty quickly, and that was like $600 down the drain. Yeah, see that's good. That's good for an eval. It's a good price. You can't really go wrong. So we do have like some equal highs here on the lower time frame, so I think these most likely will get ran. So maybe going into AM session, we could. Okay, well they've already been ran. That was quick. I expected maybe it to, you know, dilly dally here for a little bit, but no, they got run instantly. I'll sort of like draw out, I guess, what I want to see. This is what I'm hoping for. I don't know if we'll get it or not, but if we got this, I would be, no. That's my ideal setup right there. Like I said, I don't know if we'll get it or not, but just given how bad price action's been. I will say, this is a nice setup here, pre-market. Obviously, I don't trade pre-market, but this was a nice M5 inversion here. Took sell side, tapped into an M50 and FVG. Pretty clean A plus, I will say. You have a nice draw on liquidity as well, which is all the way up here. I don't know if that's too much range, considering that the past 2 days have been pretty awful in terms of momentum. But yeah, this is a pretty clean M5 setup here pre-market. This is the kind of stuff that I'd look for on the lower time frame. No, we have MCAM. This is exactly what's happened the past couple of days. This sell-off here pre-market. You know, this one's about the same size as the sell-off pre-market yesterday, and then we just chopped for the whole of AM session. So exact same thing has happened again. God knows why. Just December, I think. December price action is usually pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't trade pre-market session anyway, so you can't be mad about missing stuff like this. And there was not really any confirmation entry. Was the one on the 32nd? No, there was a confirmation. This is my textbook confirmation model. This is so we had the M5, and instead of taking the M5 because your stop loss would be, so say here is the closure of the M5, right? This is a big M5 gap. We inversed it. You'd enter on the close, and then your stop loss, your hard stop would be at the low, and your, full take profit, maybe if you were conservative, would be at this high, right? So although that's a 1.8 risk to reward, you can do better than that. So what you do is you then zoom in. You don't take the M5, you zoom in to the 1 minute or 30 second, and you can see right here we have an A+ confirmation model set up here, with a beautiful singular 30-second IFVG. This is exactly what I was looking for yesterday, and we didn't get anything like this. It was just horrible. And then you can see after the A+ is formed, we get some nice price delivery. If you don't get an A+, or the A+ is super unclean and choppy, you can expect price action to be the same. So yeah, I mean, this is super clean, and you, not only that, but you've also just increased your risk to reward from 1.8 to 5.6 just by waiting for that confirmation model. So I mean, yeah, it's just better in my opinion than trying to just long an M5 inversion right here. Oh wait, no, your closure would have been here on the M5, so it would have been even worse, really. But obviously, you zoom in on the 30-second, your entry's lower, and your risk to reward's higher. So you see what I mean, Cam? Just take that into account, I guess. So this is like I said, this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for. AM session. I don't know if we'll get the opportunity for it, considering price has already presented such a clean trade. Pre-market. But yeah, this was a nice trade. Yeah, it is what it is. Would it have been a break even though? That's the real. I mean, technically, if you were trading on the 30-second, it would have been a break even. You'd have got wicked out a break even right here. But if you'd have gone off the 5-minute entry, then your break even would have been at this 5-minute FVG here. And you wouldn't have got stopped at break even. So you can kind of stack the entries. So if you take a 30-second confirmation off a 5-minute closure, you can kind of go break even at the 5-minute entry break even point. Therefore, that will prevent this sort of thing here, getting wicked out at break even. So a little bit extra sauce there, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this trade, look at this. It would have hit. It would have hit beautifully. And obviously, with my model, I like to hold a runner. So I would actually hold a runner all the way up to this buy side liquidity. So I mean, that's a 1 to 13 trade right there. If this happened at AM rather than pre-market, we would have definitely caught this one. Super clean. Super clean. Yeah, I mean, you have obviously the M5 inversion, and then you zoom in. After taking sell side and tapping the M15 gap, you zoom in then to the 30-second, and you have a classic A+ confirmation model, singular clean IFVG with momentum right here. This is as A+ as they get. When I talk about waiting for a clean A+, this is exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. And they do print pretty much every day in good price action. Obviously, yesterday and the day before, not good price action, so we didn't really get one. I think there was a decent one during lunch, day before yesterday. But yeah, I mean, would it have hit the runner? No, not yet. No runner yet. But yeah, I'd still be holding a runner in this trade. These M15 FPGs got completely disrespected, and so did this entire range. So we can just delete that. There's no reason for us to have that there anymore. This is pretty wild, this swing here. At least we can, say this was a successful tape read. This is definitely a trade I would have taken on the funded account as well, and I probably would have sized up just because of how clean it is. I don't know actually, because maybe because of the context of the day before and yesterday, maybe I would have gone normal risk. just because of expecting price to chop and not do this. But we'll see. I don't honestly, after this expansion here, I don't know if we're going to get anything clean. AM session now, just expanded wildly at market open, with no entry whatsoever. The entry was pre-market, so it is what it is. Let's see if the thing is, like, if we hit the draw on liquidity like soon, there's going to be nothing for me to target. I can't really expect a sell-off, considering we had the sell-off pre-market and we already had the A plus, and we've just filled this H4 FEG here. We'll see. Obviously, the draw on liquidity bullish is too good to try and take a short before it's even hit. And this has been my draw for the past 3 days that I've been trying to target. And it's just a shame that this happened pre-market. It really is. This had happened half an hour later, which it normally does. Then, I don't know, maybe New York AM session's patched and I'll have to start trading pre-market. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it out on Monday. Go live an hour earlier. And so there's nothing really standing in price's way here in terms of this buy side. I don't really see why this shouldn't get hit. We've already rejected off this H4 gap here and wicked all the way down here, filled the M15, and now we're going higher. So there's no reason for price to try and return down unless it's going to sort of chop or it wants to rebalance EQ. I really don't anticipate a sell-off here. So still SMT. ES is a lot slower than NQ. A lot slower than NQ. I'll mark out this just because there's some minor buy side in the leg. Do we have any news today? We do at 10. We've got some news at 10, so maybe if we have to wait until 10 to try and get a retracement or something. But I'm not going to try and force a trade here just because we missed out on this A+. I'm not going to try and force it, so. Well, I'll just move this to the side just for reference. I'll just put it over here. This is the trade we would be in if this happened, an hour later, so. Okay, let me mark out, so the M15. I have an M15, we have two M15s actually, right here. So what I'll do is I'll mark out a fib for us. And then we also have this nice M15 here in discount. Like I say, I don't know if we're going to get a retracement down here, but if we do, it'll be in terms for a nice A+. So maybe we get something off the 5-minute FVG here. I know it's in premium, so it wouldn't be an A+, so I wouldn't be able to go heavy on it. But if we got something like this, maybe we do this, take out the low again, and then we get an inversion continuation higher towards our draw. Maybe we can look for something like that, but we'll see. Hello, people in the TikTok live. I plan on upgrading the quality of the stream. I just haven't unlocked the webcam thing yet, so I can't use my full streaming layout. I've just kind of got to point my phone at the screen and go a couple of times doing that. So That's kind of why you've got that rather than the streaming setup that I've got on YT. But yeah, we're just waiting here until something forms. We've already had a huge expansion off an A+ setup that formed pre-market. But we never got, obviously we don't trade pre-market, so it was not our trade to take. And the past couple of days we've had a sell-off pre-market and then just chopped inside the range and not had anything clean. So this is kind of a kick in the teeth to provide something so clean when we can't even trade it, but it is what it is. The tape reads good, so just wait here for a little bit. We have news at 10, so maybe we get a volatility injection here come 10 o'clock New York time. Maybe a nice retracement down here, and maybe an entry off that. So that's basically what I'm hoping for. I don't want to try and get caught in chop again. Last couple of days we've managed to avoid getting caught in chop just from keeping our rules so strict. So I can't loosen the rules just because it's Friday and we've only had one trade this week. It was on Monday. I did take a trade yesterday, but it ended up being a small loss because of the bad price conditions. So if we get something clean. But yeah, NQ is definitely stronger than ES. ES is lagging behind, hasn't taken the same highs that NQ has, and it's also left equal highs. But perhaps if ES is strong and NQ isn't, then we can maybe target something on ES. Switch over there. So we have an M5, a big M5 displacement. I don't know how we're going to react off of this, so I'll just mark it out for now, and we'll see. We'll see if we even do get a reaction off it or not. You say this is the ideal area. I do want this discount range to be tapped here because there's a big M15 imbalance. If we get something clean off of there, it'll be happy days. Okay, so we've just tapped the consequent encroachment of this M5 gap here. This is on the M1, and we're just giving a little reaction off it. We'll see if it holds or not. Given by this momentum here, I assume price is going to come down and rebalance EQ. But I can't take a trade based on a prediction, so we'll just have to wait and see. We move this over a bit further. This is just a tape read trade from pre-market. You got a super clean A+ pre-market. Okay, so there's a wick into the discount range. So we'll just zoom into the 30-second here and see if we can get a singular clean IFEG. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We'll see. There's nothing really here. It's just quite wicky on the 30-second, but there's an M1. The M2 is actually cleaner than the M1, but because there is an M1 above right here, you need sort of... Actually, I guess a closure in here would be fine, but then you'd have to be super conservative with your break-even point. It would have to be this FEG here, in which case you'd most likely just get stopped at break-even. So we do need a clean singular IFEG, really. Otherwise, there's not really much point in putting risk on the trade. So we've tapped into the M15. We are reacting off this discount level here. There's an M1 that also stacks up with an M2, so we need the M2 to close above if it doesn't like already get closed out in this candle. Do you have any higher time frames? This is a big wick on the M15, and unless this M15 here gets closed above, you know, like price has failed, goes above the displacement lower, and I don't know if I can then justify taking a long on the lower time frame just because we didn't get the high time frame inversion. And this has already swept so much liquidity here, and we do have SMT at the highs, so there's a lot of contradiction to trying to take a long off this move. So we'll have to wait to see if see what the M15 closure looks like. Rups on TikTok. I am on the. This is currently the. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong time frame. This is currently the 30-second. So what I'll do is I'll do higher time frame analysis on the 5-minute up, usually the 5 and the 15, and then I'll sort of frame an entry on the 30-second or the 1 minute, based on which one's cleaner or has a clean IFEG entry. Sorry, I'm not too sure how long ago you sent that message in there. Okay, so the 15 minutes already closed, and we did close above. So this is a 15-minute IFEG. The wick isn't great, but we did close above, so I can justify taking this 2-minute. I don't know why I labeled it as a 5-minute, because it's not a 5-minute, it's a 2-minute. Just change it quickly. So yeah, I can justify taking this 2-minute here. Let me remove this. If we get a clean, solid closure over this 2-minute and it doesn't already tap the 1 minute that's above, I can justify this trade. But obviously we have this M1, which we need to go break even at as soon as it hits. Otherwise, we risk getting stopped out. But obviously we have to get a nice clean closure here where it hasn't already tapped this. So we'll just hang fire a sec here and see if we get that. All right, so we've already tapped the M1, so this is invalid. Unless we get a strong closure here on the M1 above this one. But then, like, all you're doing is increasing your, lowering your risk or reward. You cut the trade if it got closed back below. Still a 2.5R. Maybe if you targeted this buy side here, the daily FEG, maybe a bit better. We'll see what it does here. No closure yet. Just closed just below the imbalance. I think this 2-minute did close above. Oh wait, no, we still have a minute left on this 2-minute candle here. When you get price slowing down like this, it usually indicates that we might range for a little bit. But obviously we'll have to wait and see if we do end up stalling on this gap here. This is quite high in the range. It is delivering from discount, but it's a trade in premium, and it automatically declassifies it, isn't it? Like it can't be an A plus, you know, if it's this high in premium. So it will be declassified to an A. Therefore, we just go at a slightly lower risk. Well, if we do get this, it's a low risk funded play. It's yeah, but obviously you'd have to be quite conservative with the break even. It'd be at this high. You'd want some sort of momentum going up here. Don't really want it to revisit. Looks like we are going to get there. So we did get the 2-minute closure. So there is a clean 2-minute FVG. Obviously, if we didn't know any better, then it would be, you know, we'd take that. But we know there is a 1 minute here, potentially a roadblock. So we just need to make sure that this gets closed above first before we try and enter anything. And obviously, break even is going to be right here for this high. Let me just move this across just because we already know that we've rebalanced EQ. So if we were to take this trade, break even point would be here. This would be take profit 1. And then the full TP would be here, this draw on liquidity, which is this high inside the daily FVG. Got 14 seconds here on this candle closure. No closure just yet. See, if you entered on the 2-minute, 46, obviously 46, number 2 times table. So close right here. You would have had to, like, you know, you'd already be risky because you've already hit the break-even point. So, like, where would you know, your next break-even point would be here. And you'd still, like, your stop loss, obviously, you wouldn't be like this. It would be, your entry would be here, and your stop loss would be probably below this FVG here. But we'll see. Just makes it a little bit riskier if you try and take it when all the time frames haven't closed. Obviously, with this trade here, if we do get the closure, you'd have to go hard stop at the next intermediate term low. But you'd close you'd cut the trade if we did close back below the IVG, which keeps the risk, you know, relatively low. So the fact that we're stalling here inside this M1 FVG isn't a great sign. Like I said, we did get the 2-minute and the 3-minute. Actually, there is a 3-minute closure as well. There's a 4-minute small FVG here. I'll just mark out the high of this because if we get the 1-minute closure above both of them, then yeah, Bob's your uncle. But okay, so the 4-minute closed 2. We just have to wait for this M1. Hopefully we don't take out the break-even point before closing above this M1. So okay, so yeah, we can take this, but we do have to be careful with the break-even point here. So go a couple of seconds until Okay, so I'm in this long here. My hard stop is obviously at the swing low here, so we're already break even, but we have to wait for one full candle closure before we can move our stop, otherwise we could just get wicked. So if this full candle closure here closes sort of below and it looks like a clear rejection, I'll end up just cutting the trade. Just because, we could just be rejecting off this high. We have to make sure it's as high a probability as possible. But obviously, if we get a momentum candle closure over this, then we can move our stop straight away. Pretty nice, nice candle here so far. So I've only gone in with 2 micros on the funded, just because it's an A and not an A plus setup. We are in deep premium, so I'm going to move my break even already. TP1's going to be here, so I'll take off one micro here. And obviously I'll leave the rest for this daily gap. So if we don't get stopped at break even first, obviously. But there's nothing in the way here of the of price being able to reach this level, only if it wants to come back and rebalance this range. Obviously that's the issue with taking a trade this high in the range, is the fact that it could very well want to come back down here, rebalance this breaker, tap into this this lower gap here before moving higher. So that's the only issue with taking trades like this. That's why you always have to go lower risk in plays like this. But yeah, we do have an M1 gap here just above our entry. So if we're going to come back, hopefully this is the gap that we we just bounce off of. Obviously, context matters in a trade like this as well. We've already had such a big expansion before, so it's not like, it's not super high probability. But we'll see if we reject off of this gap here. If it wants lower, then we go stop the break even, and it is what it is. The break even point saves me more than it screws me over. So there's no point in trying to, break my rules to try and save a trade, which could just chop. There's always going to be something cleaner, like this, for example, pre-market. This was a perfect trade. It wouldn't have got stopped to break even. Yeah, I mean, there's always something better, and this is pretty mid, but it's there, so they could very well come back to rebalance this range. We've got quite a big range here. Okay, so we got stopped at break even on that trade. That's why you always have to be careful, Trade was riskier, so I went lower risk and stopped at break even here. I thought this might happen, this lower gap here, but I'm not about to change my rules to try and save a trade here. I'll keep the trade here just for reference, since obviously we did take this trade, so painful. I guess it would be painful if it just comes and stops at break even and then runs, but we'll see. Like I say, let's see if break even saved us here. Let's see if break even saved us. Okay, so there's the range. Do we have any unfilled gaps? We have an M2, an M3, M4 as well. M4 right here. Let's remove these IFEGs because they're not needed anymore. We could just see if we get a reaction off of this, maybe. It's the only one in discount, so there is a M1 here as well, though. But if we come all the way down here, then we're probably just going to run the range. just zoomed into the wait, which one was this? Oh, this was an M1. Just zoomed into the 30-second here. Yeah, there is a closure below this IFVG here. I know it's a double IFVG, sorry, a double FVG, so it's not like it's not something you could take short, but it's just another layer that you need to be careful of. This is also a reason why I take a singular IFVG and not a double IFVG, because if we close below this, you can see this is a short entry, and then you instantly get stopped out because we tapped into this one below, and you always have to wait for them either to both close or a singular one to close. We'll just mark these out as they are. Well, big wick there from news. News just dropped at 10, so. Still no TP1 though, so break even still might be saving us here. I'm not gonna lie, this is quite a nice little short setup here. I'm not gonna take it because obviously we do have the gaps below, but if there was no gaps below, this would be a fairly clean short on the 30-second. Obviously, if we close below it, which we did, but we do have gaps below, so you have to be careful. And we're still bullish. Our bias is still bullish, so this could just make for a retracement. I did anticipate that we could chop here, to be honest. So let me just quickly see if ES has taken that high that NQ did. Has it? It has. Okay, so this SMT is no longer. So we can still expect bullish price action here. Zoom in a little bit. Here we are. Again, this is why you wouldn't have taken this one because of the gaps below. You always have to wait for the highest time frame gap to close. If it's not a singular, if it's a singular, then it's you know, smooth sailing. But let's add the trade back here that we did take. Where did I enter? Did I enter on this candle closure? Yeah, right here. Let's see if we do end up taking that TP1. What the break even did here is it saved us from stress, basically. And in my opinion, I'd rather be saved from stress than, you know, win a little bit of money on a funded account, because there's always a better trade, you know, and my mental state of mind is more important. some would say, some wouldn't say. Maybe me from like 6 months ago wouldn't say. I'd rather drive myself into insanity and make money than not. But so the stop would have been just below this M1. So let's see if we do it up hitting the TP1 of this this trade here. This isn't a valid long, by the way, just because we didn't take this low. And there's no SMT. So if we took this low, it would be valid. And if ES took this low, then we'd have SMT and it'd be valid. Yeah. Turn it off. Yeah, I did. Left my bloody lunch in the oven. Probably burned by now. Yeah, no, like I was saying, if ES took this low and we had SMT, it'd be valid, but it didn't. So no valid liquidity sweep, automatically a no trade. Obviously, we had this big wick here as well, like contradicting that we swept the high. So just right now the TPs here that I would have taken if we didn't get stopped to break even here. You know, maybe we would have held into this daily FVG if all was going well. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we would have hit TP1. Nice, nice. Just going to nip to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. You guys can watch this trade for me. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be honest. I don't really think that we're going to be able to catch anything else here today. Maybe if we get lucky with a retracement. Sort of the same scenario that we had earlier when we took that trade. But I just don't know if it's going to happen, to be honest. And to be fair, price has presented two good trades today. We had the trade pre-market, and we had this trade that we got stopped at break even on. So can't really complain, to be honest. There we are. We have an M50 and FEG in discount. If we come back down, tap it, you know, maybe we can look for something off it. I don't know why I went on the 3 minute. We do have a M5 FEG here, which didn't get tapped. We have the same thing on ES. ES did not give one. We have an unfilled M5 here. Now this might be a breakaway gap for us to just continue heading higher towards my draw. We can't really be sure of that yet. But the fact that it's completely unfilled, it means the price wants to revisit it either sooner or later. I hope the lighting's better on the TikTok stream. I don't really know how to sort it out, to be honest. Maybe turn the exposure down on my camera or something, that might work, but it's only temporary. I unlocked the virtual camera plugin, I think, on TikTok Live after 3 streams of 25 minutes. So basically just 3 trading days, and I can mirror my OBS that I'm using on YT to TikTok. So you won't have to be watching a phone screen or a phone camera. Looks like we're running here to maybe TP2. Be nice to get a little bit of confirmation that the tape read was good. Just an unfortunate break even, I think. But if this M1 was singular and this one wasn't below, we didn't even tap any of the lower FEGs on the other time frames. Except for obviously we tapped the M2, but actually I don't know, but there is an M2 there, so maybe it wouldn't really matter. But I think it was an inevitable break-even trade. I did say that when I took it, it was so close to the break-even point. It's kind of inevitable that we're going to get stopped at break-even, but the break-even rule is there for a reason. It stops me from taking half as many losses. Filters out bad trades. Like this could very well have just chopped or came and rebalanced the range entirely, which means that we could have potentially closed out the IFEG, and then I would have had to cut the trade. And that happens way more times than you think. We always get something cleaner, like right here. Didn't take this because it was pre-market, but this is the kind of trade that I'm talking about. This is super clean, coming off an M5 confirmation model here. So there's always something cleaner. If you want to see an example of some of the clean trades that I'm talking about, rather than just take my word for it, go on my TikTok. I've got plenty of videos on there just basically showing pristine trades. But yeah, I mean, what this trade here is telling me is that our read was good. Oops, I just accidentally smacked. We have detected inactivity during the complete the verification. Dude, I'm live, dude. What are you on about? Hang on, I've got to do a little bit of maintenance here on the TikTok live. I'm not inactive. Oh yeah, let me set the thing back up. Sorry about that, TikTok. Oh yeah, sorry about that one. We're gonna turn my live stream off, man, for being inactive. Oh well, yeah, no. So what I was saying before we got really interrupted. This is obviously just shows that our read was good. You know, this was a good trade. It was an inevitable break even just because of how close we were to the break even point. And I have to be super strict with these, otherwise, you know, I do end up taking some unnecessary losses. But yeah, the read was good, the draw was good, and yeah, it is what it is, you know. Hello, TikTok viewers. Hello, hello. We took this trade and then got stopped at break even, so it is what it is. You can see the entries and stuff on TikTok, can't you? Let me just check. Yeah, the camera's not great though. Sorry about the poor quality on TikTok. I really do hope to improve it. You just set the thing here a little bit better. That should be fine. Fine. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions or anything, any part of trading confuses you, feel free to shoot, and I'll be happy to answer you. Drop some wisdom. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm checking TikTok and YouTube chat, so. Maybe it's the thingy cam. The you know, the ring light camera. Let me see if this helps. Is that better? I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll get there, TikTok. Don't worry. I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. My price is just accumulating here before market. Sorry, market open. What am I talking about? Before we hit the draw. Just gathering some buy stops here by the looks of it. Or it could be gearing up for a little retracement, maybe. We can only hope. Yeah, like I say on TikTok, I do plan on improving the setup here. I know it's just a phone screen at a computer screen, but I've got a whole layout that I use on YouTube. I just can't use it yet because you know, I've got to do a couple more streams on TikTok before I unlock it. Before I unlock the stream key to be able to use OBS. So This is my first live on TikTok, so you got to bear with me a little bit, you know. Another slow price day. At least we did get a winning trade out of it though. Well, a winning tape read, that is. A break-even trade, but a winning tape read. So. Maybe we get a retracement here. We have already swept buy side though, so I wouldn't have much confidence in there is a lot of unfilled inefficiency though, so it could very well do you know, keep going higher. Where's the retracement thing? Oh, it's up here. Oh yeah. The retracement thing. That's a good name for the retracement tool. I'm gonna start calling it that. Where's my retracement thing? I don't really see a world where we come all the way down here just to carry on higher. I think that we will probably rebalance. Actually, wait, we already rebalanced EQ at this range. What am I talking about? Absolute bozo. Yeah, no, this is doable. This M5 here. Definitely doable. Is there any other inefficiencies in this leg? Significant inefficiencies, that is. Oh, there isn't the M5 here, actually. Blocking our way. As well as one here. And we have a 30-second FEG right here. There's an M1 actually. Need the M1 and the 30-second. You know, I wouldn't mind this actually if it doesn't just rocket for a little scalp, little low risk scalp. You know, you could target the midpoint of the daily gap, maybe. Yeah, I don't really mind this break even here. The only thing is we haven't retraced to EQ, so a trade only, and it's really just more of a, you know, bias trade. It's not really much of a. Obviously, you need to wait for the closure first, you know. But yeah, if we did get this, it wouldn't be. It's not much of a, you know, much of an A plus. It's more of just a bias trade, really, and a risk to reward. Not really that high a probability, so we just wait here to see if we do get a closure. We've got a 30-second closure, but I do need the 1 minute. We did sweep some minor sell side. We've tapped into the M5 gap here. I don't mind this for a low risk. Yeah, we could probably do 2. I'll just give it a second here just to see if we do start pushing higher, because it has just been wicking. I'll just give it a second here. See what this 30-second candle does. All right, I guess we're into there. Like I say, super low risk trade. Stop's going to be at the hard stop, but if we close back below the IFEG, I'll cut the trade. And this is a low risk. This is an eval play. Yeah. Break evens here. This is more of just a draw preference trade than a mechanical A plus, because it's not a mechanical A plus. Say TikTok, you can probably see my P&L right now, and you can see that I took this extremely light just because of how risky this trade is. What is this, bro? This is NQ Nasdaq futures. I'm currently in a very low risk trade just because it's not that great of a setup, but we do have a good bias, and obviously this is our TP2 for a trade that got stopped at break even. So that's what this is. If you have any other questions or anything, just let me know. What I don't want to see is us just chop here. If we do, I would just cut the trade, because, like I said, I'd rather just not sit through chop. And obviously we are in premium as well, so this is automatically a lower probability trade. There's a little gap here, a little 30-second gap, which seems to be holding up price, as well as a proportion order block. And obviously we've already balanced this one. It's just where the price wants to actually retrace properly and fill the M5 gap below. If it does, then obviously it automatically bumps the trade up to a higher probability, so we could potentially go a little bit heavier on it, but this is just a light take it for the draw kind of trade. And obviously, going this low, like, this could hard stop me out and I'd still be fine with it, but obviously close below this and we cut anyway. It is what it is, you know. And there's the closure. So yeah, we got on the 1 minute here rather than 30 seconds, because the 30-second closed like on it. So if the 1 minute wants to just keep heading lower here, I'll just the trade. We'll give it a couple more seconds just to make sure we are going to get the closure below on the 1 minute. Yeah. All right. So cut the trade there. Took like a $50 loss. Nothing major. The trade was lower probability anyway, so that's why we went such low risk. Not a big deal. Like I said, that was a low risk eval play, so no stress there, I guess. Just for my notes, actually, I'll just frame this and put it into my journal really quick. Just give me a second. I'll just take a screenshot and then I'll do that later. And to be honest with you, unless we get now something pristine, like a full-on retracement into this M5 gap here, there's not really anything that I wouldn't try something like this again, you know, considering that I know that this draw is now high resistance. Yeah, I wouldn't be trying this again. We could just sit here and watch on the 1 minute, I guess. And we have a lower M5. So what I'm hoping for right now is that we come down, rebalance the discount of this range, maybe take out the sell side, which is resting just above an M5 FEG. And then we get something, but we're getting quite late into the session now, and we've already had such a big expansion move. So I really don't know if we're gonna get what we're hoping for here. I tried this just to see if we could catch the final push up to the draw. Maybe a runner deep into this FEG here, considering it is Friday and the whole week has been choppy. I figured that we might, hit draw today, but maybe it's waiting to do this lunchtime or PM session. I don't really know. Doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, we did try this low risk. Got stopped out for like a $50 loss or something, super low. That's why you always close the trade when you close below. I mean, this is a prime example, Like, if we'd have held until the hard stop, you would have been hard stopped for what? I mean, is it double? Pretty much double, right? Sorry, excuse me. 14 points to 12. So a little over double. Save myself from a bigger loss, basically. Hello, viewers. 3 viewers in the YouTube. We took a trade here. This was an A setup. We had an inversion. I know I've got a 5-minute marked up. That's just for this potential retracement. We took an M1 inversion here. We got stopped at break even before the price moved higher towards our TP1. And then we also tried another little long here, super low risk. Maybe to try and hit that final draw. But obviously price closed back below our IFEG, so that means I got to cut the trade. Yeah, they were both solid trades. This one actually, weirdly enough, fit more into a good mechanical setup than this one did. Obviously, we didn't retrace during this one, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad. No FOMO. It's just another statistic in my journal. Now you see, this is alright, but I've just taken a loss here, so we can always tape read this. I'm not about to put more risk on the table. Of this, yeah, the risk to reward here isn't great. You're negative risk to reward, so you can't really. You could target higher, I guess, for a runner, like I did with this one. Yeah, because it's a double FVG, the risk to reward on this one is a lot worse than the singular. So say, for example, it was a singular here. Even this is like a 1 to 5. Or 1 to 3.9, but then you start extending the loss past beyond the second one. It's now a 1 to 1, and if you put the stop at the swing low, which is where your hard stop should be, you're then in a negative RR. But then at this one, you put the stop below the IFEG, which is where we closed right there. So I'll actually just move it to where we closed, because Yeah, and then you move it to the high, it's closer to a 1 to 2, and then you leave a runner, and the runner starts adding on your risk to reward, 1 to 7. So and it looks like this would have been a break even anyway. Actually, no, you have to leave it for one full candle. So we'll see if this would have been a break even or not. It's got one full candle. So if this rejects and sort of like closes a little bit higher, then you go break even. You don't go break even immediately, or you'll just get wicked straight away, pretty much. And actually, I just realized the entry for this isn't even valid because we'd already taken the high. So there's not even a valid entry on this. Like, even if you tried to take the 30-second, there's still no valid entry. So this isn't even a trade. This was the only trade in this leg. We are rejecting again, and we now have SMT at the highs. So maybe we do get that retracement I was hoping for. I'm gonna nip to the toilet again. I'll be back shortly. Naughty word, mate. Sorry, guys, my child just said bastard for some reason. I don't know where he's heard that from. He just came up to me, he's like, "What does this mean?" I'm like, dude, don't say that, mate. Probably from my road rage. You ever just like wish that when you're driving, you could like connect to the other car's speakers? That's me all the time. Yeah, exactly, MCAM. They are indeed. I should have told him that. He said, "Well, what's the B word?" Oh yeah, it's the market makers, mate. Don't worry about them. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna chop here, I think. Can give it till 11, so another 23 minutes. And then if we're still chopping by then, I think we call it, to be honest. Yeah, my draw is still here. Just for reference, I still do want to see this daily gap get tapped. Right here, big daily gap. And then obviously we have a high here. It's just inside of it, or it's just like the start of it. So maybe there's another one here actually. Well, yeah, the fact that we're just accumulating here means that we might get some sort of manipulation, and then distribution to our final sell side target, which is this high right here. maybe even deeper into the gap. But yeah, price has got 22 minutes now until to do that, and if it doesn't, then you know, not my trade. Appreciate you guys sticking in the TikTok live with me. This is my first live stream on TikTok, so yeah, I'm sorry for the quality. I do plan on switching over to a proper overlay. I've got one on OBS, which I'm using for my YT. But yeah, at the minute I don't have access to it because I need to do 3 streams for 25 minutes. So yeah, I don't have access to that at the minute. But I'll do a stream on Monday, and then I'll stream on Tuesday too, and then hopefully by Wednesday I'll have unlocked that so I can do my proper OBS setup on TikTok, and you don't have to watch through my phone camera. Hey man, you've been in here for a couple of days, so I do appreciate you sticking around, Mcam. You're the only person that's talking to me in the chat, so. I'm open for questioning, by the way, if anyone feels like popping a question to me, or they've got any questions on the, on trading or my strategy, ICT, etc. Happy to answer any questions. Just better hurry up and do something. Yeah. It's like watching paint dry. I've had too much of that the past couple of days. I'll go back to yesterday, and I'll just show you like exactly what I mean, because it was painful. I'll tell you that. Oh. Dude, okay. We got to yesterday and show like this. What is this? You know, like what are we doing here? This was painful, I will say, because like we had this expansion pre-market. Sorry. Yeah, right here, this expansion. Well, actually, it was manipulation, not expansion. We got this manipulation pre-market, and then come market open, there was just a huge displacement here. There was an IFEG, but this is invalid because we took the low, and then the whole rest of the session we just chopped. This one technically valid, but we didn't take it. We actually took a short here. Oh god, you try and find it again now. Here we are. We took a short yesterday. It was right here. A little 30-second IFEG. And it ended up being a loss. Another loss. There was nothing here. So, obviously, we were targeting lower. There's a draw on liquidity lower. The bias was right, I guess. But, obviously, the market was so choppy yesterday. It wanted to take the high again. So, you know, in normal circumstances, this would have been a good trade. It would have just went straight to draw, especially with momentum like this. But obviously, as soon as we took out London low and lunch low from the previous day, I guess it was a wrap for price, and it just wanted to dilly-dally in a range for like 3 hours straight. Like, yeah, literally. So annoying. That's December PA for you, though. Alright, so, I mean, we are coming down here, so maybe we do get our 5-minute FEG retracement here. Quite a big smart money reversal, though. You know, this is a textbook smart money reversal. SMT at the highs, and then we have a little bit of consolidation. So, yeah, no problem. Appreciate you being in here. You're not going to be missing much. I'll tell you that. Have a good weekend. Take it easy. Do we have any higher time frame gaps here? See you on Monday, my man. Yes, so we do have a M15 right here. Let me just drop off this 5-minute because obviously the M15 overlaps all of it. So Drop off the 5, and we'll just change it to the M15 since it holds more weight. Maybe we get a reaction off of this. It's not in discount yet though, so not an A+. But yeah, we'll see. This is pretty textbook smart money reversal though, so I don't know if I can really expect this to reject. There has to be a sort of a terminus or a market maker sell model somewhere where it wants to terminate at. And this is typically a low like this. So I don't know. Maybe we get a retracement to this. Maybe this is the terminus, but you can't really be sure until you see it, reverse. But there's no higher time frame FEG here to try and short off of. It's just taking this liquidity. So how are we doing in the TikTok chat, guys? I see I've got 3 viewers. It's good to have you guys in here. Appreciate you joining. If you're curious, I've taken 1 break-even trade. The bias was good, the trade was good, but obviously the entry was too high because we had to wait for a closure above this gap here, and then obviously the closure. This candle didn't close, this one did. So it is what it is. It wasn't like the best trade, so I entered low risk, and then I entered the same low risk on this one. A little continuation for our buy side draw, but obviously we closed back below the IFEG, so I had to cut the trade. Small $50 loss there. Nothing major. It is what it is, price has been pretty bad the past couple of days. Yesterday and the day before, so I'm kind of just happy to have a successful tape read. It is what it is, Okay, so we are heading down here. Maybe we get an M15 inversion. I'm not going to take an M15 inversion, but if we do, then I might have to switch my bias. Oh, what did I just do? I don't know. Yeah, may have to switch the bias. Maybe this high here is meant for later on or Monday or something. Like I say, textbook market maker sell model here, smart money reversal. So you just gotta don't jump the gun when you see something like this. This is classic textbook. It is what it is. You gotta wait for a terminus, some sort of proper liquidity sweep. Nothing minor like this. These equal highs would be okay, like maybe, but my guess is it probably wants this, or maybe even this. Depends what this 15-minute does inside this gap here. I'm just going to turn off the executions for now, just because they get my face a little bit, take up too much, block the view of the chart. Obviously, if we get like a nice rejection off this 15-minute, then we can, assume that we're good on that front. But there's no lower time frame FEG. There is a 30-second. I don't know. It's not like super clean. We even sweep this low. We did sweep the low. An SMT. The thing is, with this, we have an SMT at the highs, and there's no SMT at the lows. So, there's it's a difficult one. It's not super clean, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's very mid, and considering we've already taken one loss today, I don't really want to take a mid trade. I want to take something clean. But let's say hypothetically, you'd have just got stopped at break even anyway, because this intermediate term high would have been your break even point, and then you give it one full candle. So, I mean, you would have already been stopped at break even. That's why you have to frame, you know, when you frame a trade, it has to be a solid trade, a solid entry, or so. I guess you could have like waited, I guess, or maybe waited a couple of like an extra candle or so for your break even if you were confident. But then to me, I'm not going to be able to do that because that would be me breaking my rules. And when I was first started learning and developing the strategy, I had a lot of issues with rule breaking. I'm sure a lot of traders have. If anyone in the TikTok chat can relate. And the only thing that like battle hardened me when I was trading, to only take, you know, good trades and stop taking so many losses was just to stick to the rules, like to the T. You know, risk down when the trade's, you know, mid trade. Be strict with the break even, etc., etc. And I mean, this would have been a break even anyway. You know, it's gone up, yes, but it's come down again. So you would have just risked, you know, it already taken the next intermediate term high for no reason. You know, you've been broke even again. So it doesn't really matter if it's going to break you even. It's probably going to break you even again, even if you wait. And then if you wait, you increase your chances of it just being a hard stop, a hard loss. So, or like maybe an IFG closure or something like down here. But with this one, there's not really too much difference. You know, you took this. What's the difference between this low and a closure? You know. You're trying to long here when you've got a smart money reversal just above. It's probably not the most ideal. And to be honest, if this wasn't so big, I could probably justify a short here actually, because obviously we have just had the first stage distribution, so I might actually just enter that. Maybe a cheeky one contract short because we have just taken a high inside of a gap here. Take a cheeky one contract, you know. Swept the high, tapped into the gap. One contract is nothing, so we do have clean IFEG here on the 1 minute, under 30 second. It's being adaptable in the markets, you know. I recognise the market maker sell model, the smart money reversal, the SMT at the highs, but I've taken a low risk because we've already taken a loss. So if we can make back our loss, then definitely wouldn't object. So we go break even here. We'll give it a candle. That's a candle, so I'll move my stop to break even straight away. This is a clean A+ setup, by the way, very clean. And I said that I thought the terminus was down here at the swing low, so that's where I'm going to set my take profit. I'll just quickly mark out why I took this. And this is a completely risk-free trade now, by the way. The stops at break even, so if it comes back up, who cares, you know? But yeah, this was clean. We had a lot of momentum, so I'll just quickly mark it out. We have sell side here, sorry, buy side here. We have SMT at the highs and a classic smart money reversal. We have a 30-second FEG that was untapped, which has now been tapped. And then we also have first stage distribution. This is first stage distribution, the first pullback in a market maker sell model. First stage distribution. So there you are. We do have equal lows here, so, and obviously our EQ range we were looking for, so we've got to be a little bit cautious. But we can start to trail our stop if we think the price might reject. If this is the true terminus here, we shouldn't come back here. We should probably head a little bit lower, or maybe give like a second stage distribution pullback here in a second. A minute's time, maybe. Interesting to see if we get that 15-minute inversion. I'll stick on the 1 minute here just because it's the same time frame that we entered on. So we have a 2 minute gap here, quite large. Our break even is in like the lower quadrant, so if it comes back and refills or like rebalances this, the chances are we might get stopped at break even here. I'll turn my executions back on, just so you can see that I did actually enter this trade right here. Well, yeah, this is a juicy little 6R trade if this hits full TP, so can't be mad at that. Absolutely not. You see, we were originally bullish. I even tried a secondary entry here and reached this TP. But as soon as I saw this, market maker sell model here, I was also talking about potentially flipping bias if we got this inversion FVG. But when I saw that we rejected off of this 30-second one, took out this high and then gave a clean displacement candle through these FVGs here, this indicated to me that this was first stage distribution of the market maker sell model, so we are likely to go lower. This is potentially second stage distribution, possibly not though. There's always first and second stage distribution, so if we don't see second stage distribution clearly, we can anticipate that the terminus is lower. You'll always get a first and a second stage distribution. That's why I knew that this trade entry here was relatively safe, because we just completed the first stage distribution. The chances are this is going to distribute lower. Quite the rejection here off this one. If we inverse this M1 here, I think I'll cut the trade in profit. But we'll see. We'll see. So we might be getting a second stage distribution here. If we sweep this high, maybe get another 30-second inversion. We'll see. We do have multiple 15-minute FEGs here that are completely unfilled, so all right, so here's 11. Like I say, we close above this, I'll cut the trade in profit. We've got a 2-minute here as well. 3-minute. Five-minute. I think if we got this second stage distribution cleanly here, I'd be alright with taking this for an inversion, like a stack. I'd be pretty alright with that, can't lie. Since we are already in profit. Alright, well, I'm going to enter a stack there, I guess. Oh, I accidentally did a limit order instead of a market order. Okay. So I'll keep the stop at break even. If it gets stopped at break even, so be it, you know. Obviously, if we close above this 30-second, I'll just cut the whole trade. No point in me so we could very well have already reached the terminus. We took out the equal lows and balanced the M5 FEG that was below. I want to see some momentum down here. If this is the second stage distribution, there is an M5 FEG above, which I don't really want to be hit, because that would mean that, you know, we get stopped at break even. So I would definitely prefer just for this to be, you know, one and done, second stage distribution. Let's go lower. All right. I want this to be it now. I don't really want us to come and return higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trail my stop. I think to this high, because if we're going to take this high, then we're going to take this high, and if we're going to take this high, we're most likely just going to come and stop me at break even and rebalance that M5 FEG. So I'm going to move my stop here. If we get stopped out in profit, I'm just going to come off. Yeah, there's no reason for me to stay on and try and look for a further trade. But I am just hoping that this just you know, rips downwards here towards our sell side target. So we might get stopped in profit here. There we are, no big deal. We made back our little loss from earlier plus a little bit. So overall, low risk day, just because of you know, the expansion pre-market. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it is what it is. Day in profit is a day to be happy with. Cannot be mad about it at all. So yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you tuning in, especially our viewer here that's been in TikTok since I started. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be live again tomorrow. Catch you later.